on the wind in a neighborhood of cars junked in the front yard. It seemed unlikely the dust would settle anytime soon.
Into the smell of bread in ovens at the bakery,
no matter how searing the midday sun.
Her shoulders ache with uncertainty.
Near the highway north through town past the mill,
that dull green hulk of metal absorbed light.
Sun glaring off the hubcaps of junked cars.
Where steel is cooked from coal, lime, and iron.
Wind poked its fingers in and out of the windows.
Of cars sitting in the neighbor's lawn.
Beside seamless pipe and rail.
Crazed by 30 seasons of raw cold, close sun.
Of graveyard, of metal and chrome.
Shipped to cities west of the Mississippi.
The 1949 Ford sunk to the running boards.
Defying the passage of time.
Where winds are never as strong.
Under a ponderosa pine that grew to shade.
Wind pressing through the broken passenger doors.
Under the Sangre de Cristos.
The sawmill shut down, leaving the relic to rust.
Whistling an anthem to the dead.
Never as pungent as what drifts into yards.
Under the gaze of passing neighbors.
Calling her name like a bird.
Never as baked as cars that open onto front doors.
Who no longer registered its presence.
Flying in circles over its prey.
Never as robust as what is carried out by train.
Children tell stories forgotten in the back seat.
The prompt for poem number 2 is children chase an imaginary ball down potholed streets.
On warm Saturdays in the 1960s,
a ball that would have been used for a kickball.
Always the children play.
They ran through suburban streets.
Played baseball at Mulligan Park.
Immune to wreckage, rust, and time.
No traffic, just radio music lilting.
Across Bayshore Road behind the 5 and 10.
They formed teams among the rubble.
Seen through screened doors downtown.
A soda fountain no longer dispensed.
They laugh in the blustery air.
Aproned mothers standing at sinks.
Now that Clem is gone.
Ready to toss their dreams to friends.
Just ups imps.
I'm the pitcher between first and third.
Where they catch and bat back and forth.
Leaping over potholes.
And roll a big rubber ball to home plate.
A game of swift kicks and perfect passes.
Chasing imaginary balls until sunset.
I turn my head to the sky as it soars.
They conjure the soccer ball.
Atop a dirt pile.
At the back of the field.
Down the broken street.
Never knowing anything could change.
Waiting for the outfielder to catch it.
Long ago lost, stolen, and deflated. The prompt for poem number 3 is, until they reach the river, no bridge to cross, no raft to float over.
They are always reluctant.
When the only means to the other side is to wade.
Spirits remain high.
Standing on this side of the river.
Tread water when you get to the center.
Excitement spills from a racing game.
Cold water rushes past.
Swirl your arms back and forth.
In a river that has no name for kids.
While they watch silently.
To make their way where it's dug deep.
A place where they splash away parental fears.
For the safe passage of supply barges.
Long arms reaching.
Never holding back, determined and strong.
Geese and tree branches float by.
The current too strong to swim.
They meet the rumble of water.
No gateway to the other side.
Against a draw to the mouth of the bay.
A makeshift bridge built last week, now gone downstream.
No bridge to lead them.
As strong as the ocean in a storm.
Decisions must be made.
A huckleberry fin raft to float them.
Today is calm along the banks.
In the shadow of a child drowned last year,
For the drift of debris down the canal.
they pitch pebbles in return to an imaginary game.
Where they thought their dreams waited.
The next session is the Damon Runyon poems. Number 1. I wander a graveyard off the Avenue West.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Born in a prairie, pen in hand.
Tucked under the Sangre de Cristos.
Publisher's boy outshines his dad and granddad, too.
Words tumbled forth easily.
As if there were nowhere else to go.
10 years old, thumbs his nose at dreary classrooms.
Even as he marched himself into war.
Into mountains for what aches deep.
School marm shakes her head, says he'll amount to nothing.
Kissed his first wife.
For what he needed to say of streets.
Young Damon strides up and down raucous Union Avenue.
Bet on his first horse.
Where trolleys run and horses pull carts.
He tips his cap at buxom Bessie, lovely Lola, and jazzy Jezebel.
Sipped his first glass of whiskey.
Over bridges, over the river underneath.
He flips a coin at Baxter the bookie.
His steady hand pressed ink to paper.
All the conversations playing in his head.
Speaks in a voice half child, half man.
Colorful baseball articles filling the pages.
Until morning when he writes them down.
Put that on the long-necked roan.
And when the lights of Broadway sparkled in his eyes.
To get just another day's echo from town.
A little wager makes a game worth playing.
Characters of the street come alive in his words.